Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I am talking about imposter syndrome and how to use it to your advantage. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So, imposter syndrome it's a hell of a beast, okay? Imposter syndrome is one of those things which affects a lot of people, and I've heard it, I've heard it from my friends, I've experienced it personally, I've heard it from some of you in the comments as well, everybody being like, oh, I have imposter syndrome. And I experienced so much imposter syndrome when I was at university. Like, I felt like I didn't deserve to be there, like I didn't deserve to have been offered a place. I didn't think I was going to live up to my potential, and I fully believed that up until the day that I opened my results and I saw that I got the result that I wanted. Okay, so I had terrible imposter syndrome, and I discovered a mindset that enabled me to kind of flip my idea of imposter syndrome on its head a little bit. And I wanted to share that in this video because so often when we think of imposter syndrome, we think of something that's negative, something that's bringing us down, and we shouldn't always think of it like that. Sometimes having imposter syndrome can paradoxically be a strength, okay? So how do we use it to our advantage? I have 3 tips for you in this video, and so it might be a quick one, but I want to talk about each of these in depth. And the first one is simply to stop caring. Now, I know that's easier said than done. Believe me, I have chronic anxiety, which I've lived with for the last 10 years. I've been in therapy, I'm on medication, okay? So I know that it's difficult to stop caring about something, but sometimes you need to stop caring about the feeling of being an imposter. Does that make sense? So whenever your brain says to you, you're an imposter, you'll be like, I don't give a fuck, okay? I might be an imposter, but I'm here. Okay, so you just need to start embodying that reality almost, that okay, maybe you don't deserve something, but you've got it anyway. Okay, so the little voice in your head that's telling you you're an imposter and you don't deserve it, it literally doesn't matter because you have that thing anyway. So what's the little voice gonna do? It can't convince you to throw that opportunity away unless you let it, okay? So, if you've got this little voice saying, oh, you don't deserve this place, you should drop out, and you listen to it, then that's just letting your imposter syndrome win, okay? But if you have this imposter syndrome voice saying, you don't deserve this place, and you turn around and you're like, yeah, and I've got it, so what are you gonna say to me? Then it's actually really empowering, okay? And that brings me on to my next point. My next point is to take this mindset one step further and be a gleeful imposter, okay? So part of imposter syndrome is your brain going overboard and convincing yourself you're an imposter when you're not. And a lot of the time, it's absolutely not true. What our brains are saying to us is not true. It's obviously, if you're in a position, you've been hired for a job that you think you don't deserve, you've been given a place to university that you think you don't deserve, and seriously, if you didn't deserve those things, why would you have been in that situation, okay? Why would the admissions tutors have approved your application? Why would your boss have hired you if you didn't have the required skills and talents to be in that situation? So you are not an imposter. Let me say that. Worrying about being an imposter is a sign that you are not, okay? It's a sign that you're really conscientious, and it's also probably a sign of anxiety, but you are very, very likely not an imposter. So when you have this little voice in your head that's saying you're an imposter, instead of turning around, you can turn around and say, okay, I don't care, but you can take it further and you can turn around and say, yes, I am an imposter. And what about it? I am actually proud of being an imposter, and I am going to out-imposter all those other imposters. I'm going to be the best imposter on the block. I am going to be so sneaky and cunning and so imposter-ish that I am going to succeed even more, okay? I am going to get so many things that I supposedly don't deserve, okay? This is about silencing the voice in your head, because the reality is that you do deserve those things and you have those skills and you have those talents. But when you turn around and you say to that little voice, yeah, I'm an imposter and I'm fucking proud of it, then I found that it kind of doesn't know what to do, because the whole thing with imposter syndrome is that it's trying to make you scared and it's trying to make you doubt yourself. And once you come back at it with confidence and you say, I don't care and I'm proud of it, then that voice has no power anymore. And even if it's not true, right? Like I've said, you're very, very likely not to be an imposter. Even if it's not true that you are an imposter, let's go with this little voice for a minute. Suppose it's right. who cares, okay? This actually ties back into the thing that I was talking about in some other videos about imagining the worst case scenario and then kind of being okay with that. And that takes the fear out of a lot of situations, okay? So firstly, you're not an imposter. Secondly, if you are an imposter, who gives a fuck? Like literally, who gives a fuck? You should be proud of that. You should own it. I mean, you're not an imposter, but if you were, who cares? You're in this situation anyway, and you would make the best of it. All right, the third thing that I have as a tip is to kind of go with the voice again for a minute. All right, go with the voice again. Supposedly you are an imposter. We all know you're not, but play along with me here. And the third thing that I want you to do is to look at everyone else as an imposter and try and out-imposter them, okay? So what I mean by this is, firstly, everyone else thinks this way as well. And like, there might be some people who have like a massive ego and all super confident, but if you've clicked on this video, I'm assuming that you have imposter syndrome. And a lot of people feel this way, okay? Many, many more than you would imagine. Now, I was very surprised. In my third year of university, I kind of discovered that a lot of people around me thought that I was quite well put together. And obviously a lot of people didn't think that, but I was surprised every time I thought that someone thought I had my life together, because I did not feel like that at all. And I was very quick to like point out the reality and make sure that they were under no illusions. I was like, no, I do not have my life together. But I think it's interesting how other people perceive us and like how they didn't realize that I had such bad imposter syndrome, okay? So it's very likely that a lot of other people are experiencing this. And if you go with it for a minute and, you know, all of these people have these little voices in their head saying, you're an imposter, you're an imposter. What if everyone was an imposter, okay? And you were able to look at them as an imposter and be like, well, I'm going to be the best imposter around, okay? I'm going to out-imposter all of these people, and I am going to be so, like, clever and cunning, and I am going to get so many things that I don't deserve because I am the best imposter of them all. It sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it is no more ridiculous than the imposter syndrome voice in your head telling you that you are an imposter, because you are not an imposter. Okay? And sometimes I think in these situations, you have to be a bit clever about it in terms of like defeating the like negative mental narrative. And you have to kind of be a bit ridiculous and go along with it to the extent where you can turn it around and be like, all right, yeah, fine. I'm going to be confident about this. I'm going to outdo everyone else in terms of I'm going to be the best imposter on the block. Okay. So sometimes, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but sometimes these things have really helped me. And I know that to an extent it's all kind of like pretend, because we all know that you're not an imposter. You've worked so hard to get to where you are, and your achievements are genuine. Your talents, your skills, your capabilities, all absolutely genuine. You deserve that job. You deserve that place at university. You deserve, you know, wonderful friends, and you have put in so much work to make that happen, and I'm really proud of you. But if that voice in your head won't leave you alone, play along with it for a little bit, because I find that that really confuses the negative mental patterns, because the negative mental patterns are all about getting you to have poor self-esteem and getting you to experience fear. And if you refuse to let those thoughts create fear or low self-esteem in you, then I find that the thoughts go away because they have no power over you unless you let them, okay? So stop caring, be a gleeful imposter, and look at everyone else as an imposter and try to outdo them. I hope this made sense. Kind of a weird video, but these are things that have really helped me. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Okay? You're not an imposter. Bye.